Hello, welcome back. Saturday the 8th of June. It's a very blustery and showery day today. It's quite nice actually. We've had a bit of rain the last couple of days, which is nice because we haven't had much rain at all for the last 3 weeks, so bit of a relief. Few targets today. I'm stockpiling wood at the moment. The pile's becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, and I've brought more down with me, so I'm gonna break up all the pallets today, and I've got some thicker timber as well, and I'm gonna basically just make planters and beds to use it all up, and then stack them neatly until I then need to use them, and then pull them into place, rather than it just being a messy pile of pallets and wood with nails sticking out of it, and that it's a bit unsightly at the moment. The other thing is I want to get the tree down, mostly down, which is above me here. A couple of reasons. One is pushing my shed over. It's blocking the light coming into the shed, so if I wanted to grow stuff in here, because I don't have a greenhouse, then I can't do. And the other reason is because it's shading other people's plots at the moment, especially sort of early afternoon, like late morning, early afternoon. Like the plots opposite me are almost half in shade, so it's not very fair. There was like a seed swap coffee morning thing this morning down the other end of the allotment. I didn't have long at the time, so I just popped down to see a few people, ask a few questions, and I asked if I was allowed to take the tree down, and they said yeah, because it's just, you know, seeded itself and grown over the last few years while the plot's been unattended. They said just cut it down. So I don't like cutting trees down because I think it's a bit of a shame, but this one's annoying a few people, so unfortunately it's got to go. So we'll do that. Got to thin out some seedlings as well. The beetroot and the lettuce that I planted a couple of weeks ago, that needs thinning out. The spring onions, not yet. They are just coming through, but they're a little bit behind the others. So yeah, lots to do again. I might get down tomorrow afternoon, so we'll see. Yeah, and you might have noticed I got some new furniture for the shed as well. I'll just spin you around. There we are. So we've got a nice unit that was 5 minutes from being chucked in the skip. So that'll help. That'll help organise me a bit more. I can, you know, stick seed packets and things in there. I'll buy some drawers for that. I'll get a shelf across on the top all the way to either side, so I've got like a little potting bench as well, which will be nice. Ooh, let's get cracking then. Okay, so trees down didn't actually take that long, only took about 20 minutes or so. But you can see the amount of light now that's getting over onto this plot opposite me is a hell of a lot more than it was. If we go inside, it's much brighter in here as well. So I've made a couple of planters and a digging for dinner style one down here. Thanks Joe for the inspiration for that one. I just want to show you the timber that I've got for some beds that I'm going to make. Obviously you can see that's quite substantial, so these are going to be more permanent ones. I've got to de-nail them because there's quite a few nails and stuff in them. But after that, I'm going to plan what I'm going to do more, because you know, once they're full and put together, it's going to be slightly more difficult to move them than the lighter stuff that I've already made. So yeah, I'm going to sit down, make a plan, work out where's best to put them, and then you know, in the coming weeks sort the ground out and get them in. Just one thing I want to show you quickly, if you excuse the pile of rubbish here. On the ground here, I don't know if I showed you before, I've got strawberry plants, but although that's been eaten, there are loads of strawberry plants on the ground. They're only making little tiny strawberries, but I'll pick them as I see them, and then I'll let you know how that goes. But I've been told that the person before me had a huge strawberry bed in this area here. It's just a shame that obviously it's far too overgrown now. I don't know that I'll be able to save any of these or dig any of them up because they're a bit too swamped, but we'll see. But as you can see, there's loads of them, they're all over the place. Okay, so I'm going to pack up now. I'll thin my seedlings out tomorrow. I've been denailing the wood that I showed you. I've got 2 beds worth done. So there's 8 slats there. I'm going to pull out my pak choi tomorrow as well, and think about getting the new seedlings in soonish. These pumpkins are coming on fairly well. There's loads of new growth on them, they're getting big quick. Like I said, I was worried, like I said before, I was worried about these peppers not faring so well outside, but they seem to be doing okay. There's new growth, and I mean, they're not shooting up, but they're going steadily, which I'm quite pleased with. Tomatoes are coming up nicely. Hiya. It's now Sunday the 16th of June. Last Sunday was a bit wet, and then Monday was a bit wet, and then pretty much all week it was a bit wet. So yeah, we've had a week of pretty much constant rain. I came down a couple of times during the week in the evenings after work, just to check on things, bits and pieces. But today is actually the first opportunity I've had to come down to actually, you know, get on and do some work. A lot has actually changed. I'm quite pleased. There's a lot that seems to have all of a sudden just burst into life. So whether that was because I wasn't watering it enough and now it's had the downpour and it's faring better, I don't know. But got a lot to do today in a short amount of time, as always. So we'd better get started. So the first thing I want to do today, because it desperately needs to be done, is to thin out the lettuce and the beetroot that I sowed a couple of weeks ago. Might be 3 weeks ago now. So we'll do that, and then I want to potentially thin out the fruit trees. So I've got the 2 apple trees here that probably want to be thinned a bit because there's a real load of fruit on them. So I'll get that done, and then just potter around, clearing up bits and pieces, just checking. I want to take the pak choi out today that's gone to seed. I'll get rid of that. and then after that, if I've got time, I'll see where it goes. So we'll get started on the lettuce. So as you can see, I got lots of lovely lettuce coming through, and also coming through where it shouldn't be. That's where the fox dug it up the day after I sowed them. So there's a sprinkling around there. I'll take them out today. But yeah, these desperately need thinning, so I'll take a few of those out, and the beetroots as well. We'll thin those out. And I brought my pot along because all the leaves are good for salads, so they won't go to waste. So let's get started, I guess. So really, all I'm doing here is going along, making sure they've got enough space and cutting out the smallest ones. Obviously, the smaller they are, the weaker they are, the less chance they've got to develop into nice juicy beetroots. So I'm just going along, I'm thinning these a bit more than I would be of the lettuce, because I want to make sure they've got enough space to grow well. Whereas the lettuce, I can just do that gradually, harvest the leaves and eat them as and when. But with the beetroot, we want to make sure that everything underneath the earth, or the surface of the earth, has got enough room to grow well. Hence I'm thinning them a lot more than I would be something like lettuce. Okay, so I'm hoping that's enough for now. That should give them enough room to grow well, and for my efforts I've got a nice box of baby leaves to take home and put in my lunch tomorrow. Okay, so similar idea with the apples here. 4 apples together, fairly nice size, really about the size of your average plum at the moment. But when there are many more, they're a lot smaller. So what I'm going to do again is just take off the apples as you'd pick them normally, the smaller ones, and give the larger ones room to grow even larger, hopefully. forgot about is I've got to stake this up. Didn't realise how heavy with fruit it was. I mean, there's tons on there, and there's more in the middle there and over the back. So I've got to put some stakes in and make sure I tie it up so it's all off the ground, because I don't want it getting too damp. These ones are okay. They've grown really well actually. I'm really pleased with these. I've just been taking the suckers out. They've been doing all right. So these are the Pak Choi seedlings that I planted, I think roughly about 4 weeks ago. So obviously, as you can see, they need thinning out. So I'll do that, probably give it another couple of weeks, and then hopefully they'll be ready to go out in the bed that I've just cleared. Alright, so I've tidied up the Pak Choi now, got rid of the stuff that had gone to seed, and the new seedlings that I've thinned out, they're just in their pots at the moment. I'll wait until they're a little bigger before I pot them out. Everything's had a feed. The strawberry plants are growing quite large themselves, but aren't really producing much fruit at the moment. Tomato bush, on the other hand, is producing lots. And hopefully sometime soon I'll have the raspberries off of my bush. So it's another short one, unfortunately. I think next weekend I've got time on both days, so if I plan ahead, get a fair bit done actually next weekend. I think I've got so many ideas and things that I want to do, but just can't put them into practice when you've only got sort of like 1 or 2 hours here and there. So looking forward to next weekend when I can really get stuck in. But for now, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.